is a medical condition, a symptom of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder.
Hoarders. You know, you'd think at some point in their lives, these people would have somebody somewhere, anybody, you know, an aunt, an uncle, a brother, sister, friend, who'd step in and say, dude, you know, you gotta throw some shit out. You can't just keep buying and accumulating all this crap in your house. I mean, God, it's like at some point the crap just begins to take over, and before you know it, it's not about you, it's about your crap. God, it's like, it's serious mental illness, man. I just can't even freaking relate to that. God, you know, go to Home Depot, rent one of those dumpster bags, and throw some shit out. Stupid hoarders.
Knick-Knack's Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Knick-Knack!
Hey, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your humble host, Knick-Knack. Tonight we're going to be talking about bots, and more bots. That's right, we're going to be talking about Autobots and Decepticons as we take a wonderful journey into the world of the Transformers. You know, my evolution into enjoying Transformers as a child was sort of a long, lengthy one. Obviously, like most kids of the late 70s, my first real love for robots came, of course, from this guy right here. Of course, R2-D2. I can remember playing with this also, one of these Tomy wind-up robots, because of course it looked like R2-D2, and this was fantastic. This is, you know, when I was 5, 6 years old. I can even remember my dad taking me up to our local Coca-Cola bottling plant, and I got to meet the Coca-Cola robot. I have no idea. It was a 70s thing, guys. Just go along with it. But it was freaking awesome. So from there, it was natural that around, you know, the time of the 3rd, 4th grade, I popped my cherry as far as anime robots goes on, of course, Voltron, which was, of course, a natural evolution into the world of the Transformers. I love the Transformers. I can remember busting ass home every day after school to get home in time to watch the Transformers, you know, on television, you know, from 1985, 1986, 1987. Absolutely loved them. And then, of course, I can remember going and seeing Transformers the movie in August of 1986 and absolutely having my hair blown back by that film. No film since The Empire Strikes Back had such a huge impact on me as a young little dude that Transformers the movie did. And it was just absolutely mind-blowing. And so tonight, I'm going to take this entire episode just to talk about the Transformers by counting down my top 10 favorite Transformers of all time. Alrighty, so before I get in the top 10, my top 10 favorite Transformers of all time, I just want to point out a few things. One thing about the time in which I was into the Transformers, I was an old enough child to where I had some foresight to keep a few things beyond just the toys themselves. My Transformers, my G1 Transformers were actually in pretty immaculate condition compared to like my early vintage Star Wars collection or my Voltron collection, which most of that which got trashed. But I was smart enough when I was collecting Transformers to have the foresight to take a few steps, minimal steps as a kid, to ensure that my collection, you know, would be something I could treasure for years and years to come. First of all, now while I didn't keep the packaging, now keep in mind, back in the 1980s, as I'm sure most of you would remember, hanging on to toy packaging would have been, you know, basically akin to keeping garbage. So we just didn't do that. That all got thrown out. But I did have the foresight, and I'm so thankful I did, to cut out each one of the personality profiles of each one of my Transformers, and I kept them all these years in this great little Tupperware bin my mother let me have. This is my mom's old Tupperware. I'm sure this was actually probably pretty expensive. It was probably made for food storage, but it made a great little airtight, watertight seal for all of my Transformers catalogs, profiles, everything. So I've managed to hang on to all that stuff really, really well over the years. These profiles were great too. And, you know, one of the fun things about them was they came with, as you probably remember, they came with this orange film, and you'd put the orange film over this graph thing, and it would like show off, like it was supposed to be like secret, like you couldn't read it without it. Of course you could, but you couldn't read it without it. But you put the red film on there. I don't know if I said orange film, the red film over it, and it would show off, you know, his speed, endurance, you know, leadership, whatever. It was just really, really cool. It'd show off all the attributes of the individual Transformer, and that was just fun. That was fun as a kid. So that's awesome. The other thing I really, really loved about Transformers was Hasbro back in the 80s, and, you know, toy companies just, I don't think they do this anymore. You know, I bought my share of modern toys over the years, and while they do have product catalogs, they don't even hold a candle to what the product catalogs looked like in the 1980s, particularly with the Transformers. I mean, especially this one. This was from the 1985 product line, and just look at just the love and the photography, the beautiful photography that went into showing off the 1985 product line. I mean, this just looks awesome. I mean, no wonder why so many of my generation just became complete and utter commercial whores, because we had this, you know, being bombarded every day with the coolness of collect them all, and with this kind of catalog, god damn, you wanted to collect them all. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm really thankful I hung on to all this stuff. It was really, really cool. And as I go through my top 10 favorite Transformers of all time, I'm going to be reading a little bit from each one of their profiles as well for you. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So let's just, all right, without further ado, let's just get right into it right now. Here are my top 10 favorite Transformers of all time.
Wonder who left this here.
Coming in at number 10 on Knick-Knack's most favorite Transformers of all time is Soundwave. According to his profile, his motto is "Cries and screams are music to my ears." And what a badass Decepticon Transformer this Decepticon communication specialist happens to be. Although Decepticon communication specialist kind of sounds like a really bad college degree, at least one that doesn't pay very well. Nevertheless, Soundwave is completely awesome here with his minions in tow with Frenzy, Laserbeak, and Ravage. Pictured here is my Takara Masterpiece Soundwave, in addition to my Takara Reissue G1 Soundwave, looking very, very awesome and menacing as Megatron's loyal second-hand man. I absolutely love Soundwave. As a handheld cassette player, Soundwave's alt mode is just ejaculating with 80s awesomeness. There is no accessory left for waste, as his shoulder cannon and hand missile grenade launcher double as AA batteries. It is said that Soundwave can hear a fly sneeze, and who could deny this Transformer's place in the top 10 greatest of all time?
Same frequency as our own distress signal. But who is sending?
Coming in at number 9 is City Commander Ultra Magnus. His motto is "Consistency is victory." Sounds like every single vague piece of advice I've read on how to succeed at YouTube. That is yet to be seen. Nevertheless, Ultra Magnus is an amazing Transformer, and I love having this original G1 in my collection, even though the Transformer itself is a little wonky in some places. His semi-mode can carry several Autobots into battle, making him a very, very fun toy. Although my only complaint is look at how many extra pieces you're left with when he's in truck mode. That kinda sucks. But other than that, Ultra Magnus is fantastic.
Cyclonus, I can finish my own thoughts. I don't need you to do it for me.
One other amazing play feature of this particular Transformers' sub-robot mode is a white clone of who other than Optimus Prime himself, making him one amazing, fun Transformer. Although this sub-robot mode was never explored as a subplot within the G1 Transformer cartoon, the fact that it exists makes it an amazing play feature. Coming in at number 8 on my list of top 10 greatest Transformers of all time, in no apparent order, are the Insecticons, Shrapnel, Kickback, and Bombshell. These three are lumped together basically because they have no apparent personalities of their own throughout the entire G1 cartoon series. Nevertheless, are completely awesome, because who wouldn't love transforming robots that turn from insects into robots? In their alt mode, it's not exactly sure exactly what kind of insects Bombshell and Shrapnel are supposed to be, although I suppose they're supposed to be some kind of African beetle of some kind. Kickback in his locust form is highly impressive. While portrayed throughout the Generation 1 cartoon as basically cannon fodder, the Insecticons still have a coveted place at number 8 in my top 10 favorites of all time. Bombshell himself was the very first Transformer I received as a young child, making the nostalgia incredibly high in this Transformer collector's heart. Coming up next on our list is the combined personalities of Constructicon Longhaul, Hook, Bone Crusher, Scrapper, Mixmaster, and Scavenger to combine to the mighty Combiner Devastator. Devastator was the first of many, many Combiner Transformers, but in my opinion, he was the best. He had enough brute strength to knock down a bridge. He was slow, dim-witted, and not too bright. His mantra was, thinking and winning do not mix. Devastator was an awesome array of power and brute strength. Pictured here are my original G1 Constructicons, accompanied by my Titans Return Combiner Wars Devastator from just a few years back. While Devastator was an incredibly awesome character throughout the Transformers lore, his original G1 toy was kind of a piece of shit. It had trouble staying together, was very static, would fall apart with a stiff breeze. Essentially, it was a frustrating piece of crap to play with if you were an 8-year-old kid. Still, though, you cannot deny the awesomeness of Devastator.
My transistors are trembling.
Coming up at number 6 on our list is Decepticon Seeker Starscream. This character's position on this list is based entirely off his awesome presence in the G1 animated cartoon and Transformers the movie. Voiced by the late great voice talent Chris Latta, Starscream was a memorable part of the Transformers universe as Megatron's hated second-in-command with his thirst for power. The reason this character maybe doesn't rank a little higher on this list was quite frankly his G1 toy was kind of a piece of shit. The jet itself is pretty awesome, but the robot has a lot to be desired. With his stickers for eyes and his crappy removable fists, which I actually can't find at the moment, which is kind of disturbing. I thought I put them in a nice safe place, but now I can't find them. I am using Skywarp's purple fists as stand-ins here. You can see they're kind of pieces of crap. This is actually a Takara reissue Starscream and not the original G1. Coming in at only number 5 on our list, which sure to be a little controversial, is the great leader Optimus Prime. Featured here is the MP1 Optimus Prime, the Takara version, the MP10 Optimus Prime, the Toys R Us exclusive, and the reissue Hasbro Optimus Prime with the wimpy short stacks from the early 2000s.
Well, get on with it.
There is absolutely nothing to complain about with the playability of this incredibly awesome G1 Optimus Prime, even though this happens to be a reissue of that figure. While the fists do have to be removed like Starscream to be transformed into his semi-mode, they can easily fit within the inside of his cab, which makes an awesome play feature and easy transformation of this particular figure. Incredibly awesome.
The answer is Megatron.
With his awesome battle station transformed into his tractor trailer with enough cargo room to carry all of his accessories, you may not know where that tractor trailer goes when Optimus Prime transforms in the animated cartoon, but you'll sure know where his gun is as it safely slipped away into his tractor trailer as you plow through the backyard on endless adventures with this amazing G1 Transformer. Optimus Prime's on-screen persona was the perfect marriage of Ward Cleaver meets John Wayne. He was fatherly yet completely badass and awesome. There is no reason why he shouldn't rank up higher in this list. It's just personal preference at this point. Nothing personal against the great leader, Optimus Prime.
Smashing! Simply smashing! I salute you, Optimus Prime.
With a plethora of representation throughout my Transformers collection, it's no surprise that Decepticon leader Mighty Megatron comes in at number 4 on my list of top 10 favorite Transformers.
Welcome to defeat.
Going clockwise from the back is the Takara MP2 Megatron, the oversized version with his accessory of Crimzeek standing in his hand. Moving over to the MP36 KO version of Megatron, which was recently reviewed on this channel. To the Takara reissue Megatron from early in the 2000s. And from the X-Transbots MX-1 leader Apollyon figure. Try saying that 5 times fast. Megatron is well represented throughout this collection. With the stunning realism of Megatron's G1 alt mode, there's little doubt why this figure has been rendered a tank or other forms of alternative transformation over the years, simply due to the fact that it's just not practical to have an ultra cool, ultra realistic handgun as a child's plaything.
Never knew he was that strong. Disturbs my plasma bath.
My power is everything, defeat is absurd. Or so goes the mantra of Megatron 2.0, or as everyone else knows him as, Galvatron. The rechristened body of Megatron transformed by the giant planet-consuming monster Unicron is definitely my number 3 on my list of top 10 favorite Transformers of all time. We're getting down to nostalgia here. Megatron and Galvatron could be reversible in most lists, including mine. I'm just going off pure nostalgia because Transformers the movie just blew my frickin' hair back so much as a kid that for that reason alone, Galvatron supplants Megatron on this list. I absolutely love this character as he embodies all the power of Megatron with the absolute insanity of Galvatron.
I am Galvatron. I am your destruction. He is crazy.
Galvatron's alt mode is an incredibly impressive and powerful laser cannon. Unlike Megatron, he doesn't require another Transformer to help him fire. He can just transform and obliterate at his whim. Completely and utterly awesome. Pictured here, by the way, is my third-party Galvatron figure, aka the DX9 third-party Tyrant. And of course my original G1 Galvatron, which I received on my 11th birthday. Absolutely awesome.
You should have.
Getting down to number 2 on this list is none other than Grimlock, the mighty Dinobot, which really cemented my love of this line. I remember getting that G1 Grimlock from KB Toys way back in the day, and it was actually a figure that I saw in the store and kind of actually begged my mom to get it for me, and we actually went back about 3 times before she actually bought it for me. And that figure alone just cemented my love for the Transformers. I mean, it was a robot Tyrannosaurus Rex, for crying out loud. And this figure really brought me into the line prior to Transformers the movie, and really kind of got me into the whole thing in general. So for that reason alone, he is number 2 on this list. Pictured here is my Grimlock, my Hard Hero bust in the back. That is a Polystone bust. Great figure. The Hasbro masterpiece Grimlock right here. A Heroes of Cybertron Grimlock, a vinyl one right here, and of course my G1 Grimlock. Alright, here is my G1 Grimlock in his robot mode, and going way down the nostalgia tunnel here. This Transformer, this particular item in my collection has been through so much. I actually had to take really good care in transforming him just now, because he's just kind of brittle, and his joints are a little weak, and he's been through a ton. You're going to notice something really distinct on this guy if I can get him up close. You're going to notice some small cracks there in the vacuum gold plating on his chest there. Those little cracks were actually made by when my buddy and I stupidly put our Grimlock and our Snarl in my mom's microwave. Never in my life had I seen so much awesomeness and horror as the sparks flew all across this guy, and I pulled him out and he was full of cracks. So that's really cool and really awesome and really stupid all at the same time. Oh, I love this figure a lot. And coming in at number one on my list of top 10 favorite Transformers of all time, and I know this is controversial, just like having Optimus Prime at number 5, having Rodimus Prime at number 1 is probably not going to sit well with some people, but hear me out, folks, hear me out. I was kind of late getting into the Transformers scene as a kid. It was Transformers the movie that cemented my fanhood in this particular line, and in Transformers the movie, Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime was born.
We didn't come on down, we crashed here.
Honestly, I can't think of another Transformer that actually goes through some semblance of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey like Hot Rod does as he's transformed and chosen to become Rodimus Prime. I absolutely love this character a great deal. I love his carefree aloofness as Hot Rod, as he matures and struggles with the mantle of leadership as Rodimus Prime. To me, that's just completely freaking awesome. And for me, that makes him a more relatable character than Optimus Prime.
I see now it is my obligation. I belong to it. As much as it belongs to me.
Pictured going clockwise, in the back is my Toys R Us exclusive, Rodimus Prime. Moving forward is my Takara knockoff Hot Rod. And then, of course, is my G1 Rodimus Prime from back in my childhood that I received on my 11th birthday. That was a damn good birthday. And then, of course, is my Hot Rod that I received around the same time. And from, I believe, 2003, the Hard Hero Polystone Hot Rod. Some of Rodimus Prime's detractors would claim that his alt mode is nothing but a souped-up RV. I say bullshit.
We got orders. Watch for Autobot activity. Like that clownoid, for instance.
If that's an RV, that's the kind of RV you're gonna get laid in, people. Look at the flame job on that. Look at the chrome pipes. That is one badass RV. If that thing flew up behind you in your little tiny shitty Toyota Prius, you'd get the hell out of the way. Yes, you would. You would for Rodimus Prime. The Chosen One is well indeed represented throughout my collection.
Hey, well, that is going to wrap up this episode of The Plastic Planet. That was my top 10 favorite Transformers of all time. I know my list might be a little controversial, so tell me, what's yours? Go ahead and comment below in the comment section. Tell me your top 10 or even top 5 favorite Transformers of all time. I'd love to hear them. So anyway, hey, that's going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Plastic Planet. We are doing great. Once again, as always, I gotta ask, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I'd love to have you on board, and that way you know when there's a new Plastic Planet right when it happens. And for all the rest of the people, everyone else who's been a subscriber of mine, whether you just came on board last week or you came on board at the beginning way back in October, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful, wonderful place I like to call the Plastic Planet. All right, till next time, everybody, stay awesome. All right.
Kind of have to say something to my wife right now. Sorry, honey. This video took forever for me to make this week, and I know I kind of transformed into a giant asshole, huh?